Traveller weddings are usually organised by the bride and her mother.
I think you hit 20s and that there, they want to try and get married. But in the likes of boys, you know what I mean? As I say, there's all different ages of boys can get.
If he went and asked properly, the wedding probably wouldn't be like till next year.
A lot of people has turned around and says to me, "What are you doing?" I say that.
You always expect the worst though, don't you?
I expect the worst and hope for the best. But that's the only way, hopefully, man.
If he went and asked properly.
Traditional wedding she wanted.
Number 3. From grabbing to glam. Once upon a time, in a gypsy community in Walton-on-Thames, Surrey, a young girl named Cheyenne Pidgley caught the eye of a boy named John McFadden. But John's way of courting was not your typical flowers and chocolates kind of romance. Oh no. In the gypsy community, it was tradition to grab the person you were interested in and demand a kiss. And that's precisely what John did to Cheyenne when she was only 14 years old. Cheyenne understandably was not impressed, but eventually she relented.
Got a hold of me and then he pushed me up the road. It's not nice at all, but you just have to live with it. You have to keep. Yeah, this is Cheyenne speaking. 6, 5, 2 and 50 pence.
Hard for a young girl of your age.
Damn right, but then it all seems to like fall in place after that. I could not thank John any more than what he done when that happened because...
Before she knew it, they were in the midst of a whirlwind romance and 2 months later, they were married. But their journey was not without drama. 2 days after getting engaged, Cheyenne received the tragic news that her mother had passed away from cancer. It was a devastating blow, and it seemed like their happiness was going to be short-lived. Despite the heartbreaking loss, Cheyenne and John soldiered on and planned a lavish wedding with no expense spared. Cheyenne had 10 bridesmaids in 10 stunning purple dresses, and her own dress was a dazzling creation studded with thousands of Swarovski crystals. She had 4 hairdressers and a makeup artist to create the perfect look for herself and her bridesmaids, and they arrived at the church in a white stretch Hummer.
John was there and he really didn't leave my side. He was the bestest rock you could fall on. He really was.
And my wife's uncle Willie was married when he was 15. And wife says, per se, then I said, it's time, isn't it? Someone else has had the first stuff, that's never going to happen. How are you going to lay with your wife and tell her that it's all lovely? And
the wedding breakfast was fit for a queen, with lobsters on the menu and 200 guests in attendance. It was a fairy tale wedding that even Cinderella would envy. Since the wedding, Cheyenne and John have settled into married life. John bought Cheyenne a new trailer, which they parked behind her family's 5-bedroom house, and they have already started planning for their future family. As is the gypsy tradition, they planned to start trying for a baby right after their wedding, and soon Cheyenne was already pregnant with their first child. Before the baby arrived, Cheyenne only had plans to take on their traditional gypsy role of cooking and cleaning while John brought home the bacon. And true to their community's customs, they planned to have a grand christening to rival their wedding because religion is so important to them.
There, hold on.
Mary,
Where's your other bridesmaid, Cheyenne?
Shannon! Could someone call Shannon? Shannon! They're ready outside the church.
I ain't being funny, but I can't.
Cheyenne left school with no GCSEs at the tender age of 13, and she claims she's content for her daughter to follow in her footsteps. According to her, it's not necessary for gypsy girls to know more than reading and writing. So if her daughter wants to leave school at 13, that would be perfectly fine. Husband John was dreaming big right after the wedding and he wanted to have 15 children. But Cheyenne was more practical and wanted to stop at 5. She expressed excitement about getting all dressed up with her little princess, saying it will be a lot of fun. Despite the controversy surrounding the gypsy tradition of grabbing, Cheyenne and John's love story is one of young love and perseverance. They faced tragedy and drama, but they overcame it all to start their journey as a married couple. And who knows, maybe their daughter will have her own love story to tell one day.
I'd say John's bit always thinking to himself. I said to him the other day, I'll make sure I'm late enough for you.
Just put on a bit of beef since last time.
I give you this ring.
I give you this ring.
With my body, I honor you. I give to you.
All that I am, I give to you.
I share within the love of God. But they are husband and wife.
Number 2. Rushing to the altar. The sun was shining on a beautiful day in Ireland, but for Roseanne, it was a day she would always regret. You see, Roseanne was just 17 years old when she got married, and she knew deep down that it was a mistake. It all started when Roseanne ran away with her boyfriend for just a few hours. When she returned, she was afraid that her reputation had been ruined, and no boy would ever go near her again. She knew the risks, but she was willing to take them to protect her honor. Roseanne's parents didn't want her to marry so young, but she pushed them into giving their blessing, and so the wedding was planned, and Roseanne found herself preparing hastily for her nuptials the following week.
A boy can just physically turn around and say, I had her, she's dirty.
And spent a night together, something that caused outrage in the traveller community.
Why I got engaged so quickly? If we went on and asked properly,
Not had time to do the back.
the wedding probably wouldn't be like till next year.
On the day of the wedding, Roseanne was seen wearing a traditional oversized wedding gown, traveling to the service in a white stretch limo. But she knew deep down that she had made a mistake. It was explained by Roseanne that she got engaged hastily because she had run off. If he had asked for her hand in marriage appropriately, the wedding would not have been scheduled until the following year, but she had a desire to get married sooner than that. She knew that running away was a massive risk, and she could have been dragged back home, her life ruined, and no boy would ever go near her again because they'll think there's something wrong with the girl.
If you want any more diamonds on your
No way, that's plenty, that is.
Yeah, I thought that because you've got them there, haven't you?
Yeah, there we go. Ta-da! Yeah? You have to look after a man. I'm rushing there. Oh, really is really time to go.
Despite very little time, Roseanne's family have made sure the wedding will go ahead in true traveller's.
They'll be innocent and everything, and they'll think there's something wrong with them. Roseanne's mother, Bridget, was seen upset that her daughter was getting married so young. Though she said she was proud of her daughter, Bridget confessed that she wasn't happy on the day of the wedding, but she kept it to herself. After the service, Roseanne expressed regret at pushing her parents to allow her to marry so quickly. She thought that it was a shame that she went through all the hassle that she put her family through and claimed she wouldn't do it again. Roseanne knew that she would never live down the stress of the situation. She knew that she had made a mistake and wished she could turn back time.
How you feeling?
Happy, excited, and happy.
Roseanne can enjoy the traditional wedding she wanted.
I wouldn't recommend it to any girl. It's putting your family down. I don't recommend it to no girl.
Has it been emotional?
I think I cried out all the tears. It kind of grew on me.
But for now, she was a married woman and she had to face the consequences of her actions. The episode of Big Fat Gypsy Weddings was full of drama and emotion, with the issue of family honor called into question as travelers defend their cultural traditions. And at the center of it all was Roseanne, a young bride who knew deep down that she had made a mistake. The lesson here is clear. It's important to think carefully about the decisions we make, especially when they have the potential to affect our lives in such a significant way. So let's learn from Roseanne's experience and make sure that we always think things through before taking any major steps in life.
What time are you going to be at the church?
1 o'clock. Give me coke, give me coke, give me coke. Hey, boy, sing them on.
Number 1. Sweet 16 and married. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to dive into the world of gypsy weddings with a tale that is as dramatic as it is enchanting. Meet Danielle, the young and beautiful bride who is preparing to marry her fiancé, Brendan, the day after she turns 16. Yes, you heard that right. She is just 15 years old as she prepares for her wedding day. Now, before you start shaking your head and questioning the wisdom of such a young bride, you should know that this is quite common in the traveling community. And as we look at Danielle and her journey, we see that she is excited and a little nervous, but also very much in love with Brendan, who is 21 years old.
Oh God, you're never gonna get out. Really, really happy. I can't believe it came out like this nice. A lot of people has turned around and says to me, "What are you doing?" I say that if I had 100 like boys there coming down, I know this sounds stupid, but I love him. He was perfect. Perfect for me.
He is her first and only boyfriend, and she speaks of him with a fondness that melts the heart. But there's a dark cloud on the horizon, and it's Brendan's brush with the law that is causing Danielle to worry. He has been in trouble several times, and just before the wedding, he is facing a court case that will decide his fate after being involved in a robbery. Danielle fears that Brendan will be sent to jail after they get married, and she worries that she will be left alone to bear the burden of being a newlywed.
I don't know.
It's 50-50. I'm expecting jail.
You always expect the worst though, don't you?
I expect the worst and hope for the best. But that's the only way, hopefully. Man. Fresh start. A new life.
I think that he's realised that he's got a...
The Father, the Son,
and the Holy Spirit.
And let's not forget about the gender roles in a traveler's family, which are very traditional. Women are expected to be in control of the house, while men have more freedom outside of the family home. So if Brendan were to go to jail, Danielle would be expected to seclude herself from the rest of the world until he was released. But let's focus on the positive for a moment, shall we? The wedding day arrives, and it is a fairy tale affair. Danielle looks stunning in her 6-foot-wide white dress, complete with dozens of layers of netting underneath that make it stand out around her hips. Her corset is studded with crystals and glittery butterflies, and she wears an elaborate tiara on her head. Her hair is curled into perfect ringlets, and her skin is tanned to a deep brown.
Right there. Behind you will be your parents. I will nod to you, and in you come with your dad. Nice and slow now. And I will ask you to give your wife a kiss.
Is this the youngest bride you've ever married?
So it's quite literally, it must be the youngest I've ever done.
There's lots up here though, and we're gonna try and get them. Take a good supper.
As for the reception, it is held at a nearby pub, and it is described as raucous by the Daily Star. Danielle swaps her wedding dress for a bottom-skimming lace tutu and a crystal-studded bow-trimmed corset that reveals her tanned midriff. She is happy and excited to be married to Brendan, and she speaks of him with love and affection. But as we all know, happiness can be fleeting, and there's a shadow looming over this newlywed couple. Brendan is facing jail time after being accused of handling stolen goods, and he is currently awaiting sentencing. It's a sobering reminder that even the happiest of occasions can be tainted by the specter of uncertainty.
Because I never to school in my life.
From this day forward.
From this day forward. Love and to cherish.
As a sign of my love. Brendan, you may now give your wife a kiss.
I think traveller girls get married too young. They should just wait. Because you don't know the boy, and the boy could... Yeah, the boy could like hit you or anything, so...
That's all for today, folks. See you next time with more.